Well, hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. Welcome to Blue Sunday, proudly brought to you by The Jumper Punch. My name is Bangkok Joe, and joining me, as usual, all the way there in our luxurious Melbourne studios, he's the former president of the Carltonians. He's a life member of the Carlton Football Club. You know him as Big Vincenzo, but his name is Vincenzo Lochisano. How are you today, Vince?
And we all know you as Bangkok Joe, but your name is Giuseppe Luzza. How are you, Joe?
Exactly.
Nice
Yeah, not too bad. Now, Vince, we've got to tell the viewers you've still got a little bit of problems with your internet, but we're getting a new router, hopefully, from Telstra. So hopefully...
It's a router, Joe, not a route.
Oh, no, but it's for the little router. Hey, before we go on, Vince, normally we have Sebba with us. Sebba's going to probably be a little bit late. He's got some family commitments. His family's off to Europe. So, yeah. Anyway, he will be with us soon. Vince, let's do some introductions. Let's do some – hang on, let me get this happening. Let's do the admin first, and then we'll get into – yes, a bit of housekeeping. And the Eagles are still winning by 5 points if people are interested. So there's about 9.5 minutes to go. So as you all know, here at the Jumper Punch, we are proudly sponsored by the Sporting Globe at Northland. I had a chance to go there when I was in Melbourne. Great palmers, great food. So if you get a chance, get up there and support the guys. Also, excuse me, my company, which soon, hopefully next year, will have a different name, but it's the same sort of look. Retired Working for You Tours here in Thailand. If you need to do anything in Thailand or even Vietnam, Myanmar, Laos, give me a bell. Last but not least, on Facebook, you will find us at Blue Sunday, and you will see us exclusively on YouTube at the Jumper Punch channel. Like, share, and subscribe helps to grow the channel. Doesn't necessarily help us, but it helps you and makes us give you a better product. Vince, how's your week been? Oh, sorry, before we go, just a hello to our usual viewers, Paz, Lana in the house, Scotty Tompkins, Rocco Moro, Peter V, Carlton, Jacana 93, Bo's in the house. Did I mention Scotty Tompkins? So a big hello to everyone, and we'll try and get as many comments up on as possible. So, Vince, how's your week been?
Not bad, Joe. I hope the internet's not playing up too much. You can hear me loud and clear at yours, but yeah, not too bad. I guess it's been an interesting week with the club coming out, making an announcement around coaching tenure of Michael Voss, and that was done very soon after Melbourne Football Club basically made the decision to part ways with their premiership coach of 4 years ago, Simon Goodwin. So at a scheduled board meeting that took 5 hours, they came out with a unanimous. Can you believe that? I mean, imagine how unanimous that would have been if it took 5 hours to come out with an outcome.
Well, Vince,
but anyway,
before you go on, we'll
talk about that a bit later.
We've got some exclusive photos of the thing. So listen, as usual, we've got him waiting in the annals of our studio. People come on, they want to see him.
In the annals?
Yeah, the annals. Mr. David Rhys Jones. How are you, David?
I've been the arse end, have I?
Yeah, you've been asked up. You've been asked up. Now David, how's your week been?
Yeah, not bad. No, pretty good. So still off the drink, so it can't be bad, really. wake up too good every day, to be honest. But no, we had a Spirit of Carlton function on Friday for the 95 premiership team, 30 years, and gee, that's a long time since our last premiership. But all the boys were there, and they got up, and it was it was terrific. It was Vince is gone.
Yeah, he's I don't know where he lives. I think
needs
it's
to
Melbourne.
pedal a bit harder. He does. That's all. Yeah.
Right,
But
anyway.
no. So it was a great lunch we had for the spirit of Carlton, and raised a few bob for our causes and so forth. So great to be a part of it all. And
I don't know what's happening,
good.
Vince. But David, you happen to send me some exclusive photos of the board meeting, which we will share. Now here is the Carlton board.
That was going round. I thought you'd like that one, Joe. So,
we also have some vision of them after they've elected Michael Voss. We think that's what happened in the meeting, and that's how they got to reach the decision that Michael was still the coach. And we've also got exclusive footage of Michael after the announcement, walking home, going past the Carlton Cemetery. And as coach, I have the full support of the board. Last words. As coach, he has our full support. Of course, this coach has the full support. I think he'll end up in the cemetery.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I was right. I did say he'd be sticking on. And I was pretty happy.
You must have got some intel. You must have got some intel on that, Rhys.
I was pretty happy to get the email on Thursday, I think it was. And look, I think it's a great show of unity from the club, and I think that's what they need at this point in time. We don't need any more outside negativity happening. We're probably going to lose a couple of players. It looks like Silvani and TDK might be the ones on the way, but that's part and parcel of footy. And if we can get some wins out of it, I can't wait for Graham Wright to start. And I dare say that there will be a few in the football departments and anyone to do with the football side of things, other than Vossi at the moment, should be worried about their job.
I think so.
Can I ask you a question?
Anyway,
I did hear a little whisper, though.
Yeah.
Little whisper going around that that a certain coach who's finishing up at the end of this year could be around the place. So, and I think Vossi worked for him for a little while, which
and are his initials Ken Hinkley?
Yes. So there's a bit of a whisper going around about that. So if that is the case, that'd be fantastic. That would be a real coup for the club, but only a rumor at this stage. But haven't heard anything from anyone important. Just a bit of scuttlebutt maybe, but I was quite excited with that. I think he'd be a great inclusion. I think that's the sort of person we need behind Vossi at the moment.
So someone was telling me that after the game last week, the camera was on TDK, and some lip reader said that he said to the who did we play? Freo planners, no, I'm staying. So I don't know if that means he's staying at Carlton or he was staying in Perth to see a couple of girls or something. I don't know, but we'll find out soon enough, won't we? All these rumours about so-and-so going and so-and-so not going and so-and-so coming. So anyway, Vince, there was a game on last night. Go for it. Vince?
Sorry, Joe, are you talking to me?
Well, your name is Vince.
Your name's Vince, isn't it?
I think you've got a very bad
I know, but I'm
there,
not hearing anything at my end. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little bit better right now, but I missed most of what you just said in about the last 3 minutes. Go on. What was that?
There was a game on. Give us the scores.
Yes. Are you going to put them up for us?
Well, they're up. They've been up for the last minute.
Have they? Oh, I didn't even see that. Okay. Well, because I'm using my phone, but I know that Carlton kicked 11 goals, 874. There it is. And the Gold Coast Suns kicked 13, 15, 93. That's 28 scoring shots to 19. They were a little wasteful. We also had some opportunities in front of goal that should have been kicked that were wasteful as well. But we got off to a pretty good start in the first 10 minutes, maybe 15 of that first quarter, but then they took over and ended up having a handy lead at quarter time there of about 15 points. Then they expanded that to 4 goals at half time, expanded it further to 43 points at 3-quarter time. I think at one stage late in the third quarter, their lead was about 48. But then we came home, as we normally do when the opposition puts the cue in the rack, and started playing some good footy. But it was always going to be a mountain to climb to peg back 48 points, wasn't it? So in the end, they kept us at bay and ended up winning the game by 9 points. So they'd be relieved at that, because that put them up into the top 4. And yet again for Carlton, it's a case of too little, too late. And if you add up the periods of the game we actually played well, it'd probably add up to about a quarter and a half of the first quarter and all of the last.
Vince,
goal kickers, Evans kicked 4. The main ones were Evans kicked 4 in a real breakout game for him. Harry Mackay kicked 3. And for the Gold Coast, Ben King had a great night. Goals. Ben Long with 3 and Braden Fiorini kicked 2, and all the others were single goal kickers. So we'll go on to the stats. All pretty even, really. Gold Coast and Carlton both had similar disposals. Gold Coast probably used the ball by foot a bit more than by hand. All of the others were very, very similar, except for the marks. They outmarked us 91-60. Really did control the air right through the game. 12 contested marks to 8, 16 marks inside 50 to 10. And I think that's largely because of guys like Ben King and Ben Long. Hit-outs, they also dominated, with Jared Witts playing his 200 or 250? I can't remember. 50 hit-outs to 30 for us. We had a few more clangers than they did. And tackles were similar-ish. And scoring shots, they had a lot more of the ball in front of goal. So I think that probably tells the story, Joe. I think that we were outdone in the air for a lot of the night.
We were. Over to you, David. What did you see? What did you like? What didn't you like?
Oh, look, I was pretty happy with the performance, to be perfectly honest. I think we had 9 players, 21 or under, which is and very inexperienced lineup. I think we're playing a team, and as we did last week, we're playing finals bound teams, and we're not at that stage yet. Obviously, we're out of the loop with our some of our better players not there at the moment. They're pretty well full strength at the moment. The Gold Coast, they've got a good coach, finals coach who's proven himself over time, and they've been ticking along very nicely this year. So all in all, when you looked at the teams, as I said, on paper, you'd expect Gold Coast to have a pretty easy, comfortable win. I think they would have panicked a bit towards the end, and that was just our blokes having a go. And the one thing I do like about it is the way they are attacking the game, and just having a real go. And I think you even look at the performances of Paddy Cripps over the last 2 weeks. He's really picked up, and I think that comes from the energy that he's getting from these young blokes. And good to see McGovern playing seconds. Good to see Fantasia playing seconds. These blokes not thrown straight back in. That could have been, and that's what's happened to us. And I think I've spoken about selection integrity over the course of the year, and probably even last year as well. And I just think players need to be picked on performance, and if they're performing, stay in the team. And it doesn't matter the names or how much they're getting paid or whatever. Play in the twos, because you got to work your way back into the team, and they're having a bit of a dip, and that's all. As supporters, especially when you're out of it, you're out of the finals race. You want to see what's in front of you and what's coming over the next period of time. So hopefully there's some good times, and we've got to get some more games into these kids. Obviously, we have got some good players to get back in there, but we need players to be played on form, and it's been good to see that these young blokes are being kept in the side because they've been playing well.
David, we've all been a little bit critical of Frankie Evans, but I thought yesterday was probably his best game for the club. I mean, since even that week he got knocked out, he was serviceable. Do you think maybe he's realised he's playing for his spot and needs to put in?
Well, something's happened, and I think Voss said since the bye, he's really been a revelation. Whether it's been in the reserves or in the senior team, and he's look, he's showing what he can do. So, and that's what we need up forward too. We need that spark, that player who can provide that small forward spark and kick goals, especially just kicking goals, being a threat down there. Like you keep hearing about Motlop and what he's going to do. Well, we're sitting there still waiting for him as well. But I'd like to see him burst on the scene over the next couple of weeks just to give him some confidence going into a pre-season. But I'm going to tip me out to Frankie Evans. He's been fantastic over the last few weeks and been a real catalyst up forward. He's just been able to convert. He's I've got him in the votes this week as we get to the end of the show. So he's really showed that he wants to be at this level and wants to play, and good on him for that, because he'll be there next year, where he 3 or 4 weeks ago you'd be umming and ahhing and saying he'd be probably one of the ones who'd be cut off the list. So well done to him, and hopefully he can back it up with a couple of more good performances over the next 2 weeks, and then put in a good pre-season and keep in the team. That's what his goal really should be from here on in. Knuckle down over pre-season, work on his deficiencies, and be a very good small forward for us next year. Go in with a bit of confidence.
Yeah. And what do you think of our defence last night? I mean, because Long and what's his name? King. They dominated, didn't they? Ben Long and
Ben King. He was. That they deliver the ball so well to their forwards too. There are a couple of occasions there where I think over the commentators, looked at it and said, "Look, there is," and I've been in that position where players coming through the midfield with very little pressure, and if they blokes like Rowell and that are very good kicks to the ball, and just to be able to put it out in front of blokes, you can't stop that. You just cannot, as a backman, stop that. You got to try and read the play, work out where they're going, and once they got half a yard on you, if the kick's out in front in the right position, it just can't be stopped. So he got a couple of good goals from really good creating space and good kicks into the space. But we our back line looked a bit suspect down there too at times, and we're probably a player or two missing there as well. I think Harry O'Farrell, we missed him, which he's only played a few games, but obviously Lewis Young coming in to replace him. We know what we're going to get from Lewis Young. You're going to get some good things, but you're going to get a few bad things, and the bad things cost you goals on backlines these days.
Yeah. What about Sebba? How are you? You've joined us.
Hi guys. Sorry for being late. How are you, David?
Okay.
How are you, Joe?
Yeah, good, Seb.
Well,
that's good.
Now we've got to apologise for Vince. He keeps dropping in and out, and all I can see in the back.
It's the Phantom.
Vince, if you can hear me, fix your camera, because I can't add you as you are now. But we're going to take up we're going to start a GoFundMe page for his NBN payment.
Yeah, for an NBN.
Someone's out in front of Woolies busking. What do you think of yesterday, Sebba?
I think it was just more of the same. I guess it was like 20 minutes of football, and then we got pounded, and then they stemmed the tide back. I mean, look, you guys know I'm not a Voss lover. I think it was the wrong decision, but it was just a typical Michael Voss coaching performance. Get pounded for most of the game, and then bring it back, and then it's another honourable loss. I mean, there's some of the players, they've picked up form, but I mean, what does it really mean at this point? And then just yeah, like Billy Wilson, it wasn't great. Like Flynn Young, will he make it? I don't think so. Corey Durden as well. I mean, I know he was a sub, I think, and he came on,
Yeah, come on, mate.
didn't even like, I don't know, but yeah, I don't really have much to say. I'm sort of at a loss for words now. It's got to the point where I just want it to end. You know what I mean? I'm more looking forward to the off season and looking forward to seeing what they are going to do. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy with. I think I want to point out one player, Lockie Cowan. I think he's starting to come into his own. He's starting to really solidify his spot, and yeah, I'm really liking him. Obviously, Francis Evans, and I think Mackay. Yeah, he's probably one of his best games in a while. He looked a bit more lively, and he got obliterated by the umpires. But it is what it is. That's not going to win you games. So yeah, that was just my take on it. But yeah.
Vince, hopefully you're not going to drop out. Anything to add?
Everything's pretty good at the moment, so I better take advantage of it while I can actually see and hear you guys. I had a question for Rhys about the announcement during the week. What does it say about the mentality of the club and its board if it's prepared to make a decision like this apparently at the recommendation of the new CEO? Because I can't see any tangible evidence, Rhys. I'm being honest here. I can't see any tangible evidence for having any justification for it. So
you'd sack the coach. You'd sack the coach, would you, Vince?
No, what I'm saying is I haven't got a problem with the decision if they actually let us know what reasoning is behind it, because they never do.
But do they have to, Vince?
There's a lot of people that are scratching their head saying what.
I think they need to give us a reason if they sack him. If he's contracted for next year, they're sticking with him, and obviously, I think there will be. As I said, I think there's going to be some pretty major changes behind that, behind him to help him, and I think that's going to be all the better for the football club. So I think we're going to improve in that coaching area.
I've got one question actually.
Do you hold the coach responsible for how students have performed and how much support or not he's getting from the people around him, or do you not hold responsible at all for that sort of raw performance at coaching level? Because he's the one in charge, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's in charge, and he's the one who's copped all the flack. He's copped every single bit when the blokes haven't been able to hit a bloke 20 metres away. Michael Voss is at fault for whatever. So he is at fault all the time. He's copped all the criticism. And that's the thing. I mean, you know, the players haven't copped any criticism. The players haven't had any heat on them. And that's right. It's wrong in a lot of ways. I think we either oversold ourselves as you know, genuine premiership.
Pumped up our list.
We you know, I mean, blokes on our list. I mean, Charlie Curnow is going to be the next you know, the greatest thing since Ted Whitten sort of thing. He was going to rip the you know, he's going to be the best footballer of all time. So, you know, I mean, Walsh was going to be a superstar. You know, and we've had a little bit of bad luck too. So, you know, with injuries and so forth, and you really have to take them into account. I mean, even this year, you know, start off with Jagger Smith, who's going to be a bloody good footballer for a long time. You know, doing an ACL. We just every time something good looks like happening, something bad happens and just really puts us back. You know, we take one step forward, two steps backwards, and you know, a lot of that you can't really blame a coach for. But if I was to blame, you know, if I was to really look at it and look at the one thing I've said it for a long time, and I mentioned it before, The one thing I'd be critical of Michael Voss for is the real selection, integrity, and the same blokes coming in and out of the team consistently. I would have rather seen seen nine 18-year-olds, and a McGovern and a Cherrer at times, or whoever, Zach Williams, and even this week, there's going to be players coming back. I see Elijah Hollins, played well in the reserves. Not that I'd really like to see him come back in, but he probably will. But and there's players who were down on their performances who probably deserve to go back. So I just think we get that a bit better. And guys who are playing well in the seconds do get promoted rather than the same ones coming back in without having played a game in the twos. I mean, there's obviously players who do deserve to come straight back in, but look at their performances before they've been injured, and these blokes haven't been performing, but their reputations have got them back in, and they shouldn't have been straight back in. They should be. Motlop's played every game this year. He should have been dropped at least, on a couple of times. Even just to get some form and get some touch and just feel confident about himself. Yeah. And that hasn't happened, but and that's when these guys, these other guys, could come in. But as you say, I think it showed up on the weekend. There's a few who are still a fair way off it, and they need to go back and try again. And there's other guys, to come in. I mean, we got Chincotta, we've got Boyd, we've got a few players back there who have a crack. So
yeah, I've got what's to say? Sorry, Joe, but what's this? I want to bring up the point of the selection integrity. What I personally, I don't think he'll change in his ways in terms of the selection integrity, because he's shown it throughout his 4 years already that he hasn't been able to drop the players that should be dropped, whether or not they're a big name or not. He hasn't been able to do it. Like Blake Acres. I don't know how this bloke has played more than 10 games this year. I genuinely think he could genuinely be the worst player that has played for us this year. He's been worse than Motlop. Personally, he's been worse than Motlop, Blake Acres. He's been atrocious all year, and he's played every single game, barring a few. Like I'm just bewildered with some of the stuff that also comes out of his mouth in press conferences, where it was at the Hawthorn game where he said something was a little too far, and then he was pumping some bullshit. It's spiel like it is what it is. He's staying now. We'll have to get behind it, whatever. But I think he's a liar. I think he lies. I think he believes his own lies. Some of the shit he has said through the year in his press conferences and the way it's gone through to the end of the year, he's completely backtracking on half of the stuff he said, which is, look, I understand things change during the season and stuff like that. And obviously you get injuries, this and that. But I just think he's a liar.
We're in it. We're in an era where you can't tell the truth because the truth bloody hurts, and then you cause all So I mean, the truth can't be told.
But maybe that's what needs.
I don't think there's many coaches who have come out and been really honest about the performance in what they feel inside. You can't say it anymore. Unfortunately, you can't say it because it's we can't hurt people's feelings anymore, and that's basically the society that they want us to live in now. So you upset someone's feelings, it's worse and worse than punching them in the face.
I do think McRae's
No,
you can say what you want. Who cares what people think at this point? Because everyone else can say what they like. I think McRae's post-match press conference against Hawthorn, as he said, there's no one excuse about the Jeremy Howe thing. He told it as it is. They weren't good enough. He said the players, they didn't perform. They weren't good enough. They didn't stand up. Their system went out the room. So, but it is what it is. I mean, it's just it's rinse and repeat at this point. But yeah, I'm just lost for words, I guess. at this point of the season.
David,
Yep.
our captain Rocco has asked, what have you seen in the last 4 years that justifies and makes you confident that we can improve?
Well, the one it doesn't make me confident, but what I've seen is other teams have been able to, and the teams that have stuck fat in a lot of ways have been able to turn it pretty quick, and you know, you don't have to go back far, and you know, Bomber Thompson was under the pump, and they decided to stick with him. I think even, you know, I mean, Alistair Clarkson, you know, at Hawthorn. I mean, Kennett had the knives out for him at one stage, and you know, they thought he couldn't coach. And when you say they can't coach, they all look at so much of it now. They all know what each other's doing, how they're setting up, how they're doing things, and it's you know, once again, it's a lot of it, and we'll see it during the finals. I mean, the teams are able to stand up with, you know, a majority of their players playing week in, week out. We got blokes who haven't played alongside each other, you know, for very many games. They don't really know each other. You got to play, you know, at least 20 games with someone to, you know, alongside them, whether in the back line, in the forward line, through the midfield, to know how they react and how they play and how, you know, what their style is. Yeah, you can turn it around pretty quickly. I mean, and it's a real confidence thing, and it's a bit of luck. I mean, we just need a little bit of luck with injuries. You know, we've just had no luck over, you know, Voss's tenure those 4 years. It's just been horrendous at times, just looking at our injury list and you know, good players. You need your good players out there to be able to win them, and that's why, you know, early this year when you know, we're down and out, and you're sort of thinking, well, start playing some kids. You know, I want to see the kids. I want to see, you know, Ben Campioli out there. I want to see Harry Lemmy. I mean, I was mentioning those people, but you know, we've stuck with some young guys who are starting to play good football now. Cooper Lord, I thought, you know, his last 2 weeks, he's been given big tasks, and no bigger than, you know, Noah Anderson, you know, the Gold Coast captain on you know, last night, and did a terrific job, and was able to get a lot of the ball himself, but his contribution is growing week in, week out. So, you know, that kid now knows that, you know, he can not only play that tagging role, but get the ball himself, and that's a great attribute to have. I mean, if you are going to, you know, when I was coaching, you know, I always said to, if I did put a tag onto one of their better players, I always said to them, your job's not just to stop him, it's to beat him for the ball. Because if you're thinking about stopping him, you're going to give free kicks away. You're going to be more worried about him. Worry about the ball. Just keep beating him to the ball. I want you to get more possessions than him, you know, and that's the way to really that's the way, you know, Cooper Lord's been over the last few games, and it's been terrific to see. So, you know, another pre-season under, you know, he's only going to get better, and that's what I'm liking at the moment. It's been a long time since I've seen players start getting better, if you know what I mean. We've just been stagnating, and I think I've mentioned it. You know, we've stagnated. Frankie Evans getting better. You know, I mean, that's a great thing. You know, you look at it and you go, how the bloody hell is he on a list there at one stage? You know, early this year, you're thinking, Jesus, you know, we might have something now, and a lot of it's above the shoulders. He's obviously got a bit of confidence, and Cooper Lord has too, and Lockie Cowan has. They you know, by playing regularly and not having the heat on them to you know, you know, you're in and out of the team sort of thing. You know you're in the team. You've earned your spot there, and now you can start improving. And and that's what excites me. We are getting some improvement out of our players, out of our young players especially, and as I said, nine players in that team last night, 21 years of age or under.
Yeah.
Probably only the one thing I will mention on that side of it, I think they put a squad out for the under 22 or something AFL players.
Yeah,
I don't think we have one name, one person on it. So, and that shows that we haven't got that quality of player in that younger age group coming through. But what we have got, we've got to get the best out of that. And obviously we'll get one with Jagger Smith in a year or so. But that's disappointing. But we had 9 of them out there last night, and that's in itself that's probably why we weren't as good as what the Gold Coast were, but at least they had a crack. One thing I'm proud of them, at least they had a crack, and they fought the game right out to the end again. And as supporters, you've got to look at it realistically at times. If we have got a full list of players and we've got them all out there, then you expect to win, and the expectations are high. But when we've got a cobbled together group, I suppose, which is what we've had over the last 2 weeks, and at least they've had a crack. We looked at those matches coming in and thinking, geez, we've only really got Essendon in the last round to hopefully get some joy out of. But you never know. They're giving us some hope.
And take the other side there, David. We talked before. Some of the players who are playing for their future, I mentioned him, Lockie Fogarty, just didn't give a yelp, did they? He actually has gone backwards. And so has Blake Akins.
But Lockie Fogarty's never been any good, guys. Let's be real here. When you got a team like Geelong getting rid of him, they're getting rid of him for a reason. He's never been any good. You know what I mean? And this is the thing. Like, yeah, he had a few. I think it was maybe a year or two ago. He did have a stint where, but I've always thought this bloke. And look, and it's not me knocking the person. I'm sure he's a great bloke, but as a footballer, he does not give you the requirements to be effective on an AFL football field. I'm sorry, but that's just a true fact. He's not good enough. He's not effective.
Put it this way: they've put him in there as that defensive forward. Forward. He gets the and that's where teams are attacking now from the half-back line. Most of them have got a pretty good running type who really sets the game up, and his job's really been to restrict that type of player over the time. But what it's also taken away is we just haven't had that small forward who's been able to kick goals. I reckon if we had an Eddie Betts down there, for example, at the moment, or a Papley or someone down there who we could have had, 3 or 4 years ago, whatever, we should have sold the house for a bloke like him more so than some of the ones we did get in. But anyway, they're the decisions that were made, and that's what we've got to live with.
I think just if we go back to Michael Voss, I think the board a couple of years ago screwed up by giving him a 2-year extension. I mean, there was no need to give him an extension at the time. They get drunk on their bathwater. Oh, we made the preliminary final. We better put this bloke in. Better sign him up for another 2 years. They did the same like with Mitch McGovern. We seem to do it with all these players. I think.
Yeah, but Joe, he still had another year to go on his contract. So the 2-year extension effectively gave him three more years.
But that's what I'm saying. There was no need to give him the extension
from that point. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but
they could have given him a 12-month extension. Yeah, maybe 1 year.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They just get over the top. Look, there's no shortage of coaches. There might be a shortage of good coaches, but I'm sure there's some decent ones who are assistant coaches, and some of the assistant coaches don't even want to be a full-time coach. The guy who's the guy at Melbourne who's taken over? He said, I don't want the job.
Troy Chaplin, I think, or something.
Yeah, he said, I don't want to be a full-time coach.
Yeah.
He just wants to be a happy assistant.
like I'm sure but this is the thing when people say like, oh, like obviously Reese wants Voss in. Like I'm the opposite.
No, look,
Like,
I just want to say,
Yeah.
I just think as a football club,
yeah, it just
we would have
stinks.
become an absolute laughing
Yeah.
stock if we had have sacked Michael Voss
Yeah.
on Thursday morning instead of endorsing him. And all we're doing is sticking
Just
with our
backing,
contract.
But
You
that's
know,
what
I
I
mean,
mean.
At the end of next year, when his contract is up, then decisions will be
Then you
made. But I just think Carlton's become a bit of a laughing stock around other people. I mean, we'd all get it through social media. You'll have someone ribbing you all the time about Carlton, and we had to buy premierships and brown paper bags and all the bloody bullshit. We're going to put up with all that. We're going to put up with that until we win another one. And I think by swapping and changing things all the time, you're not getting anywhere. You're starting again. You're basically starting afresh again, and we're really not at that stage. And there's a question there from Jessica. I do think, but it's not up to Michael Voss to take us to the promised land. It's up to the players. It's seriously up to the players. They're the ones who've got to take us there. Michael Voss will coach and he'll coach as good as anyone if we've got a full list and those guys are playing at their best of their ability. I'd be backing us in, but we haven't had that. We haven't had Charlie Curnow playing well. We haven't had him anywhere near his best. We haven't had Patrick Cripps this year anywhere near his best. From 45 votes last year in a Brownlow. While she's been injured, we've just, the blokes we brought in who were going to take us, we've spoken about.
I've got one. I've got one for you, Reece.
Yeah,
I've got one for you actually. Like in terms of Voss and his coaching and like the way he plays his players, I think he played, was it Nick Haynes on the wing, and while he's got Ollie Holland sitting out there on halfback last night, it's just bewildering. Like what's going on? Like this is what I mean when I say this. I don't. He tactically, he can't just be his assistant coaches. They're not giving you the full main game plan. He's got 90% of the input. He's got most of the input, the final say. And this is what's bewildering to me. Some of the decisions he makes, like Haynes on the wing and Ollie Holland still sitting a half. I don't know if he's seeing what we're seeing, or maybe I'm just deluded and I've got no clue. But I just think he's cooked. It's just bewildering.
You've got to try. You can't just keep playing the same players in the same position and every week, right? You become too predictable yourself. With Ollie Hollands, for example, he gives us some run anyway. I mean, off that back line, he whether he's playing on a wing or playing on a half back, you never see him standing still. No. He is running the whole time, and he's like trying, and to be perfectly honest, I thought he could have had a really good game last night, except for his kicking. Just some of those kicks just got and some of his possessions. So I think even one of the commentators mentioned, he needs to have a football in his hand all over summer. Just kicking the ball and getting confidence in, you can improve those sort of things. You can improve your kicking and get some confidence in your kicking. I mean, you only got to see it today. I'm trying to think of the bloke's name now for Footscray, left footer, goal kicker.
Oh, Norton.
Norton, yeah. Have a look at him. I mean, you wouldn't have backed him with, bad money to him lined up for for a shot from goal from 30 metres out on a slight angle or whatever. And now he's slotting him. He's got the confidence up, and it's an amazing thing what confidence can do. And I mentioned it with Evans before. obviously, above the shoulders, he's realised that he can be part of it, and that's why things can change pretty quickly. And anyway, we'll wait and see, and but it's really up to the players, and we got.
Can you explain a bit more about that, David? Some people are asking, what do you mean it's up to the players? You've played in a premiership, you've played in AFL, you've played the. Why are you saying it's up to the players and not the coach?
Well, because they're the ones out there. The coach isn't out there making mistakes. He could make a mistake here or there, but overall, his mistakes aren't costing the game. The players are out there playing. It's 18 versus 18 out on that ground all the time, and players have got to take responsibility at times. I mean, I was really dirty when Robert Walls, and to be perfectly honest, Wallsy wasn't a great fan of mine for quite a while, and I was no fan of his. But you played in sometimes in spite of your coach or whatever. You just went out and wanted to show him, I'll show you sort of thing. But back then it was a bit different. We got cooked in a big way sort of thing. I mean, if you went against Walsy the wrong way, you got shred. And he personally, he'd say, some of the most shocking things, but you just had to cop it and get on, and you can go and sulk in the corner, or you can come out the next week and show them what you're made of. And we need our players, our better players, especially, because that's who wins your premierships. That's who wins your premierships. It's your top, 6 to 10 players. It's not your bottom 10, and ours have been underperforming for too long now, for way too long, most of them.
Rhys, I hear what you say about it's not players to get out there, and they're the ones that are letting us down and had very poor years. Would you agree with that?
Who's that? Sorry,
the players. A lot of the players have had very poor years. Some better players, really, really good years.
Yep.
If you use your logic, no coach would ever get sacked. No coach would ever be replaced, because you're not putting any responsibility or any accountability, but you're not putting any accountability at the foot of the coach for how the team is playing. Now, surely it's up to him to he can out of it, and I just can't. The point I'm making.
I can get the gist of what you're saying, even though you're cutting in and out there, Vince. But what I'm saying, it's funny because last year at Collingwood Carlton game, and I was at the president's lunch, and about half time, I bumped into Craig Kelly, who's a GM or whatever at Collingwood there, and he actually said to me, he said, I feel sorry for Vossy, and I sort of asked him why, and he was more or less talking about that he just hasn't got the right people around him. He said, in that job you need the right people around you, and he said we have at Collingwood, but and it makes you think that it's not just the coach. You've got a team behind it that they're just as important in a lot of ways. So, and that's where I think some changes will come from.
When people say the right people around him, his assistant coaches, were they not his choices at the start when he brought him in? They were his choices, were they not?
No.
Then what the fuck are we doing here as a football club?
Well,
as a football club, what the fuck are we doing? And this is the thing: we are a fucking we're a Looney Tunes football club. This is the problem. We're actually the Looney Tunes of the AFL.
And that's why Graham Wright is going to have an impact almost straight away in that football area, and that's what I'm saying. That's what we need to happen, and let's just sit back and see how it all works. Put it this way, I was saying all the way along, if Vossi gets sacked, then Graham Wright, who's seen enough of it all year, obviously looks at Vossi and says, this bloke is just not gonna, he's not up to it. He's not, So given that Vossi's there, I don't think Vossi's the problem, but the problems will be gone, is what I'm saying, and we'll get better people around, and hopefully that will kickstart us into a bit better mindset out there anyway. Because we need to be getting our best out of our best players.
Yeah, of course. Look, I'm more than happy to sit. I'm more than happy to sit here 12 months from now in round 23 next year. I'm more than happy to sit here and hold my hands up and say, you know what, guys, I'm wrong. You know what I mean? I want to be proven wrong. That's the thing. I want to be proven wrong.
Exactly.
But I don't think I'm going to be proven wrong. Just because of what I've seen for 24 years, all I've seen is poo. That's all I've seen. I do want to be proven wrong. And people are mentioning it in people mention his name in the chat too. A player like Elijah Hollins, if it's his old demons coming back to haunt him, and that's what's tainted his whole year, goodbye. You can't keep shit like that at the football club, because it just kills your culture. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
And it's like Charlie Kerner. If he doesn't want to be here, fuck off.
I'm all for that. I'm all for that.
Yeah,
Anyone who doesn't want to be there,
go. See you later. I'm done with you.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Because you know what?
I think you'd have a lot better attitude from everyone around the place. But I mean, those rumours were going around, and I mean, it was Silvani one week. It was it was Charlie the next. Charlie squashed those rumours. Charlie has come out and squashed those rumours. So Silvani hasn't that I've heard of, but Charlie come out pretty quick and said,
but Charlie's contracted for another 5 years, but Silvani's a free agent. That's the reason.
But that's it. Yeah. So and he's quite entitled to look at any opportunities he wants to. So that's the nature of the game now. But
so
Reece, I can understand.
does that mean that there's a good chance? The issue is a lot of the assistants and other people in the football department. The board was first decided to appoint Voss, that he needed these sorts of people around him. They haven't done it in 4 years. Now, because Graham Wright says he's not the problem, we've got to get rid of these other people and give him some real support. See how the board never takes accountability for their own failings and failure to provide what was needed?
Well,
if that was what was needed from the start, why didn't they do it?
Well, there's a good question, but
and then you wonder why I say we need to challenge the board.
That's where the Looney Tunes.
Look, we've got it. We've got a new president. We've got a new CEO coming in.
But you can't just. This is how they get away with it.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. As long as everyone
they turn another seat, I guarantee you one thing before the start of next year, Reece.
Yep. What we're going to get? Who's going to do an ACL?
No, we'll get about the 11th 5-year plan we've seen in 25 years. We've had that 5-year plans. The last one.
There won't be. There's no. Look, put it this way. We're in a situation now where we need to turn it around, and we're going to have a draft period. We're going to have we're going to lose a couple of players probably by the sounds of things, and we need to get some good value back for what we lose. So I don't know how all that works in particular, whether we get draft picks or points or whatever that comes on, because we're going to need them for some of these young boys coming through, Harry Dean and Andrew Walker's young bloke the following year. We're going to need plenty of points for those boys too to come in through. So it's just
You know what we're going to have by next year? We're going to have Vince with a stable internet connection, I think.
Let's hope so.
I'll have it by next week, Joe.
I'll be
Oh,
bald by
God.
this time next year if we're talking about the way I'm thinking. I'll be genuinely bald.
You're only
Well,
a
you're
young
not far
fella.
from it.
Like your
Not far from it.
Yeah, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. My whole family went bald.
We're
at
the
age
lucky
of
ones.
24.
We've actually seen premierships and
Yeah, I
and watched
understand.
them being part of them and
I
so
know.
forth. And
Vince, you had a
look,
new
it
ABN
is,
team.
and it's I can understand people being disappointed and you know I was more than hopeful at the start of the year we'd at least play finals and give it a shake, but it has been a disappointing and embarrassing year for everyone around the football club. So and that's the time, some big decisions will be made over the next few weeks, and I hopefully I'm pretty confident, wherever Graham Wright has been, he was at Hawthorn through that period. Collingwood, he got him up, to a premiership. I don't think there's any love lost with Collingwood at the moment. Righty at the moment either.
How are you?
Yeah. So it's it's going to be an interesting time.
Are you sure you don't live in outer Mongolia, Vince?
No, what I do think is that the Carlton Football Club is doing its best to censor me by ruining my internet service. Anyway.
Okay.
Let's
So
do
look,
the votes, Joe.
Well, but before we move on, we should appreciate that Michael Voss has been given the job.
Yep.
And let's just, before everyone starts going, this is the problem, that's the problem, let's see what changes he makes, and then we'll judge, I guess. The proof
It's
will
not
be in
like-
the pudding.
Hey,
Sebba.
Joe. His contract. This is the other thing, Rhys. I'd like to know your views on this. Why come out at all? Just because Melbourne came out and sacked their coach, why the need to all of a sudden have this marathon board meeting and a big announcement after? What? Why? Basically, you're going with status quo. You're going with the status quo.
It probably was a marathon board meeting because it was going to be a normal board meeting, and then at the end they obviously wanted to talk about the coach at the end of it. So, and they need to get everyone behind it. So,
but hang
one
on,
way or
hang
another,
on, hang on.
One way or the other, they needed to get
Priestley
everyone behind
came out. Priestley came out a month ago, said we are going to use the next 8 weeks to assess everything properly, and we will make calm and rational and well-informed decisions. Isn't that what he said? Well, they've gone 3 weeks early. Why go 3 weeks early?
Vince,
well,
if you drink that many bottles of wine,
and you know what it's done?
You know what
it's done, Vince? It's nipped it in
Sorry,
the
what was
bud.
that?
It has shut everyone up. No one's going to be talking about Michael Voss getting the arse for
What,
that's
because the board came out and said he's got the full support of the board?
You stopped it. It's all stopped. It's stopped now.
Yeah.
It is
still
stopped.
anyway.
So that's why you come out. You just come out and you make a decision. And to be perfectly honest, and I spoke on Friday. At the end of the and I actually thanked them for making a decision and keeping us unified or at least we're in one direction. We don't need all this shit going on behind us. Will Voss stay? Will he be sacked? Make a decision. Get it out in the press as soon as possible, and shut everyone up for God's sake. And let's just get on with playing football and moving forward.
And on
And I think what we're going to do over the next 2 weeks is keep going the way we're going in having a fair income dip out in the footy field, even though we are going to come up undermanned against some of these sides, but that's just the way it is, and as long as they can have a go and we can play out the season get a little bit of pride out of it, and hopefully beat Essendon in that last game, but I think that's going to be a nightmare if we got beat in that, but
no one will be able to watch
I
it.
think we've got a realistic winning.
No, Vince,
You can't tell me that we're not. You can't tell me that we're not going to be competitive.
guinea pigs to start running a bit quicker, Vince.
Yeah. All right, here are the votes.
For what it's worth, we're actually the favourite next week
against who? Port.
Okay, my votes. I've gone Cooper Lord. I thought that was a fantastic game. I think he had about 12 tackles as well. As well as quite a number of possessions, but also that's as quiet a game as I've seen Noah Anderson have this year. He was, and when he did get possessions, he was ineffectual with them. They were scrubber kicks around. They were rushed handballs and so forth. So a terrific job, and I thought he played well the week before as well. Frankie Evans to get 2 votes. If you had have said that to me 6 weeks ago, a month ago, that I'll be giving Frankie Evans 2 votes, I would have said, what sort of drugs you on. But credit to this bloke. He's really turned his season around, and this could be that turning his whole career around. So hopefully that is the case, and I'd love to see him going the way he's going at the moment. And he's put his body on the line a few times, and he's getting reward for it. So good on him. Ollie Hollands snuck in for a vote. Some of his kicks really left a bit to be, but he tries hard. He gets out there, he tries hard, and he deserved the 1 vote. So I thought that he never stops running, he never stops trying. He needs to sharpen up his kicking over the summer, because that sort of lets him down a little bit at the end. But he can be a much better footballer. Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, yep. There's quite a few of them who do struggle in that department. So. Yep, but overall, and I think the real good thing about that, and I looked at it and thought, geez, Cooper Lord, Frankie Evans, and Ollie Hollands, that's what I want to see over the next few weeks in our best players. Not necessarily. I mean, Cripper had a good game, and a few others. Even TDK, I thought, jumping for marks and things again, looking like he's enjoying his football again. And I don't think, he's sort of looked like, he hasn't been really going for stuff, going for his marks. But, and I think that's how infectious these, younger kids who are coming in and harassing and playing, reasonable footy at the moment. That's how it can be. So, yeah, it's looking good, and hopefully we can get a win this week.
Vince, before you cut out,
It's a lot better.
Too late.
No good, Vince. Try again. No.
You
All
do
right,
them,
Big
Joe.
Vince,
You do them.
Vince had 3 votes to Frankie Evans, 2 votes to Cooper Lord, and 1 to Ollie Hollands. I gave 3 to Frankie Evans, 2 to Cooper Lord. I wanted to give Ollie Hollands a vote, but his disposal is atrocious. And I know he tries, but God, does he turn it over. And sometimes I wish he'd just handball it or whatever. I actually gave it to Lockie Cowan. I thought he played a really good game, and I think he's coming along quite nicely. So we've got our leaderboard, no change really. Hewitt, 68, Cripps, 54, Wiedering, 43, Shearer, 31, and Tom De Conning on 28. Next, we have our Spirit of Carlton Award. And let me get to this. David, the drum roll.
Yep, this week. And surprisingly, it's gone to our skipper, Paddy Cripps, who I've been a little bit critical of, but he's sort of, we've got the double drum roll.
Yeah.
Drum roll. Geez, here we go for our skipper. So, well, he deserves it. I mean, yeah.
Stop it.
Probably get the 3 votes off the umpires going on last year's account. He'd go
for the drum roll.
No. I just want to say how good it's been to see him leading these young players over, the last couple of weeks, and that's why he gets the award. I just think he's really stepped it up. I think it's a combination of having kids out there on the responsibility rather than, these other blokes who have been around for a long time who haven't been performing. Cripper can get out and lead the way. And I think, his captaincy and his presence out in the football field over the last few weeks has been enormous, back to where he should be. And so really impressed with the way he's going at the moment.
Okay.
Bit too late in the season, but better late than never.
Okay. And my Witches Hat award goes to Lachlan Fogarty again. Small forward, 30 metres out. I'm surprised he even got a point. I thought he would have missed the whole lot. Anyway, let me do this. Sorry about that. I just had to change the battery in my mouse. Next week, boys, Carlton versus Port Adelaide. Saturday, 16th of August, Marvel Stadium. Do you know it's nearly a 2:00 game on a Saturday? God. David, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, look, it's two teams who would have been at the start of the year expecting to play finals, I think. And, so disappointing years for both of these teams. And we just got to look at the next two matches and look at getting a couple of wins and just sort of going into pre-season, with some confidence. And I think we've got some real opportunities. Port have been in pretty ordinary form this year. So, it's a good time to get them. I think we're up and going a bit at the moment. I think I want to see that attacking and even that sort of bash and crash style that we've been doing over the last couple of weeks. It hasn't looked pretty. It hasn't been pretty, but it's been effective. And just blokes are out there having a go. The 18 blokes who are out there at any particular time, having a real dip and chasing and tackling and doing the things that, gets the crowd up and going. And, I think, something we could be proud of. So over the next 2 weeks, I'm hoping we can have a couple of good wins. And, we might get some quality back into the team over the next couple of weeks. And hopefully the guys who do come in see what's happening, have seen what's happening over the last couple of weeks and want to be part of that and can get in there and have a fair income dip. So, yep, if we do that, we'll win the next couple of games.
Okay. Vince, well, we've got you. What do you think? Thoughts? Vince? No? Okay. Sebba?
Going off their form from their game this week, I think I don't think we'll beat them. I'm just at that point. I've got no faith in them. But Vince, take it. Vince is gone. See you later. But I don't know. I don't think we'll beat them. I do see that maybe Walsh is coming back. I don't want him to play. I think they should just sit him. Let him go off for the rest of the year. Let no more footy. Because if he gets injured again, we're back in square one with him. You know what I mean? But I don't think we'll win. It'll be close, but I don't think we'll win.
Okay. Now I'm going to try and get Vince back in. Can you hear us, Vince? Vince? Okay. Well, I'll put up the tips. David has gone for Carlton by 3 points. Vince has gone for Carlton by 8 points. And I've gone for Carlton by 40 points. So I actually do think we'll win this week. But never mind. I think
we're in a great chance. I think they haven't been in good form. And we've got a great chance this week. So we'll go in there with a little bit of confidence, I think, after, taking it up to a couple of finals-bound teams.
Yeah, we had our chances in the last quarter, but anyway. And here's the tipping ladder. So there's going to be no change. Big Vincenz and Rhys are both out in front on 15. I've been going against us to try and catch them, and of course, or tipping us to try and catch them, but of course, I'm not getting anywhere near them. All right, well, David, that brings us to the end of our time with you. Thanks for donating a good hour of your time on Sunday night. I know you've probably got better things to do than talk about the rabble that we are. But anyway, I hope you have a good week.
Always good to talk about footy. And, look, I've been a bit more hopeful over the last few weeks, and it's at least they're having a crack. So, I'm sort of a little bit of what Seb said before about Walsh. I want to see him playing footy, I suppose. I can understand the injury thing, but I think if there was any any danger to him getting any more busted up or whatever, I don't think they'd be taking a risk. So
I'd just rest
think-
him.
I
I
think
mean,
he'd
there's
be-
only 2 games.
yeah,
There's
well,
only 2 games.
yeah, get him in there, get us a couple of wins. Play our best team, I suppose, and because as I said, nine kids, 21 or under, very hard to win games with that out there at the moment. But and a few of those guys didn't perform on the weekend, so they deserve to go back, and we've got the replacements available to come in. So hopefully we strengthen up a bit, and hopefully those guys can get as excited as Cripper and TDK and these blokes have been over the last few weeks, and as Sebba mentioned, Harry Mackay as well. He performed pretty well as well. So we need a good mix, and I think we can beat Port this week, and hopefully it's by more than 3 points. But anyway, go the Mighty Blues.
Anyway,
I'll see you
Thanks,
later.
David.
guys.
Thanks. See
Thanks,
you next
guys.
week.
No worries.
So, I don't know what the hell's going on with Vince.
It's just us two.
He's out. He's out. He's in. Anyway, we'll leave him out for the minute. Hey, Seb, at this time, we normally go through the games. You can be Vince. I'll put them up and you can go through the results. So here we go.
Thing. All right. So on Thursday night I was there at this game actually. Hawthorn absolutely startled the Pies in the first half, and the Pies just had nothing for them. So, yeah, big loss for the Pies. Cats just got the job done, as they do weekly. Yeah, what can you say? Pies are in a bit of a shambles at the moment. Cats are trucking along really well. So are the Hawks. And Essendon are just Essendon, just like Carlton is Carlton.
Let's hope Collingwood miss. That'd be fantastic, wouldn't it?
Oh man, it is what it is. I don't look at them. I actually don't look at Collingwood, to be completely honest with you, because we're in a different stratosphere to them.
Yeah.
I mean, well, they're in a different stratosphere to us.
Vince, you give us the thumbs up, but you drop out all the time. Okay, Seb.
All I'm saying here now. I hope you can hear me.
Sort of. Go, Seb.
St Kilda, Richmond, a close one. It was a very, very, very close game. I think Richmond, I think they've shown a lot compared to what their expectations were at the start of the year. Their youngsters are really coming along nicely this year. But yeah, I think they've got quite a bright future. And the big shocker of the round, Brisbane going down to the Swans by 2 points, and wasn't that a half saver for the Pies to keep them just to give them that little bit for next week if they beat the Crows. Freo and Port. This was a great game actually. It was just back and forth, and then Voss gave the little bye, and then they came back, and then they just got that. That was a Pierce. He took the mark. They just got over the line. The Giants. I mean, yeah, they just destroyed them. They should have probably won by more, but yeah, I think they let off a little bit. But yeah, it was a good game. North put up a bit of a fight, but it is what it is. And this one too. This is a great game.
Sorry.
Great game the whole way through. The Melbourne and the Bulldogs game. I think Aaron Norton. They mentioned that he kicked like over 50 goals this year. I think he's starting to maybe hit his career best form. I'd say he's starting to hit career best form, but I think that might not be enough for them to make the finals this year. I just don't think they're going to make it. I just think that they're just. I don't know. They need a real big slip up for them to not make it this year. But yeah, it was a great game. They got over the line.
They're relying on others to get in. And Seb, and the game that just finished, Adelaide 13-9, 87. Pretty good effort by the Eagles, considering how good Adelaide are. They're 12-6, 78. I did this ladder at the start. So the real ladder is Adelaide Crows on top with 64 points and a percentage of 142.4. And the rest is all the same. So in equal second, you've got Geelong, Collingwood, and Fremantle separated by percentage. Then you've got Brisbane in outright fifth. Then you've got
they've
three
dropped down
teams
out of the top four.
Yeah, then you got 3 teams on 56. Gold Coast, Hawthorn, and GWS, all separated by percentage. Knocking on the door, is the Western Bulldogs on 52, with a really good percentage too, 135. So all they really need is either GWS, Gold Coast Hawthorn, or GWS to screw up. Remember though, Gold Coast have a game in hand.
Game in hand,
Thanks
yeah.
to the stuff up at the start of the year. Swans gave themselves, I suppose, a sniff. You'd still have to say that from 10th down that they can't make it.
They
So
can't
you've
do
got
it.
the Swans
They can't
on
make it.
44. Then you've got Saints and Port on 32, Melbourne and Carlton on 28, Essendon on 24, Richmond on 20. The team that wasn't going to win a game this year have won 5. North Melbourne on 4.5 wins, and taking it up the rear is West Coast. So that's our thing. Now, guys, it's normally time for Vin Kano. Now, Vince, you keep cutting in and out, so it's going to be a Seb Kano. So we need to get some graphics.
Yeah.
So Seb, see, Vince has even dropped out. Now, I'm going to start you on it, right?
Yeah, go ahead. Because I don't even have something prepared, to be honest. So
just think of it. Now, during the week, a few of us got messages and calls from certain people, and all I want to say is to everyone out there, right? Just worry about your own backyard. We'll worry about our backyard. I'm not putting shit on anyone. I don't need to put shit on anyone. If I want to put shit on people, I will ring them and have a go at them. Okay? If you're going to be thin-skinned, that's fine. Everyone may not like me. I don't know. That's great. But if you're going to be on a social platform, you've got to take the good and the bad. Every now and then someone's going to say something that's not nice or you don't agree with or you think it's bad. That's fine. I don't have a problem. But if I do have a problem with someone, I will tell you. If I'm having a joke with you, actually means I like you, right? Doesn't mean I don't like you. So let's just chill. Let's all just be friends and let's just get on. Make your own production. My production. Mine may not be the best. Yeah, we have errors. Vince drops in and out. Graphics are sometimes wrong. Anyway, and that's all I've got to say. Now,
I think you've done it well. I mean, it is. I mean, look, I think we've had the Joe Kano. I think was this the first Joe Kano? But it was a subtle ball. It was just a little.
Raise my voice.
It was, what do they call it when it's not fully erupting, but it's just
bubbling.
It's just bubbling away. It's gonna come at one point. But yeah, just add to your point. I mean, like, it is what it is. I mean, fuck. You've got to put yourself out there. You be willing to take it, and if you can't take it, well, then I genuinely fear for your own sake, because in the world that we live in, the most fucked up world, you probably should have a look at yourself and have a look at your own backyard before you start.
I've got to tell you, Sam,
other things, but it is what it is. Look, I'm 24. Yeah, I'm young. It is what it is. Me and my mates poke fun at each other. My mates call me, "You're a fat wog," this and that. I don't give a shit. It is what it is, mate. I've grown up with thick skin all my life. So in the end of the day, if you can't hack it, I mean, it's probably best just leave it. And if you can't leave it, do one.
Do you know what? I don't know if a lot of people know, but one of my business partners here in Thailand, he's got 495,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel, right? And he's been making a lot of money out of it. He gets so much hate mail and people just ringing him up and abusing him. He's just like, hey, if you don't like it, don't watch me. That's all there is to it.
Also, wait up. I've actually, you know what? Now you've rejigged my whole memory.
Well, it's bubbling. It's going to erupt.
I've got a Seb Kano for you. You know what I'm fucking sick of? And you know what? Pardon my French I know there's some kids watching here, but I'm fucking sick of this. If I've got an opinion on the fact that they've kept Michael Voss on, or anyone who's got an opinion on it, right? Who the fuck are you to tell me or any of Vince or you or whoever in the chat? who are you to tell me that my opinion is wrong, or what I'm saying you're toxic, or you're bringing down the fan base, or what you guys do is the reason why the players aren't performing? Excuse me oh, why don't you go and do it? Excuse me, for starters, I didn't decide to be an AFL fucking footballer. I didn't decide to dedicate my life to being an elite sports athlete. You can look at me. I'm a blob. But the fact of the matter is that people will attack you for having an opinion. It's now starting to get on my fucking nerves, and especially with our supporter base, because they can't handle it. Certain people on this platform, especially, that they can't handle it. You can't handle it. And if you don't going around don't come around. And I had people come into my DMs actually recently, come into my DMs and say and question me, who the fuck are you? I'm not directing anything at you. And if you don't like it, as I said before, do one. I think everyone needs to grow the fuck up. We're living in 2025. If you can't handle another person's opinion, then again, I will just reiterate what I said. I fear for your own sake, because you just show how weak you are as a person. So that's my one for the thing. And
look,
all I want to say is I can't wait for the end of the season so I can just go to bed and just not have to worry about Carlton.
I mean, if I have a problem with someone, I'll ring them, or I'll find out how to get hold of them. And that goes I've even rung Vince sometimes and Rocco, and now that I've got your number, if I've got a problem with them, I'll ring them. But if it's a jibe,
it's not that stuff. It's the fact that it's just ticked me off this week that having an opinion on, especially this Michael Voss stuff, and people attacking your opinion. It's what are we, fucking children? You know what I mean?
Look, unlike you guys, I actually think it was good that they came out and said Michael Voss was the coach, right? Do I think he can coach? That's not what I'm saying, right? I just want some stability. I want us to be not a laughing stock anymore.
Exactly. Whether or not we agree with it or not, it is what it is. Yeah. But everyone's entitled to your own opinion. And as Bo said, that's the beauty of our community, is that we can all disagree and still be mates. Like Rhys disagrees with our opinions on us wanting to sack Voss. But the thing is, we don't sit here and ridicule the person for having an opinion. If you can't handle someone's opinion, fucking just get off the video, or don't even DM someone. Just piss off. Find someone who is of your opinion and stay there. Don't come into other people's space and start ridiculing them because they've got an opinion. Because that's when, and then when they start getting personal, that's when you go, when you're borderlining being an absolute fuckwit of society. Yeah. But I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, just I'm
getting hot.
And if people think I was abusing them, I'm sorry. I said sorry to people, but I don't think I am. But anyway, all right. Well, this show's gone quite smoothly now that Vince is quiet. I think we should keep him quiet every week. Don't you think so?
No. We need Vince. I'm a Vince advocate.
Yeah. See? And I didn't do it. I didn't do it
next week.
Sorry? No, he's cut out.
Hopefully you come back next week and be heard.
Well, you better speak to Jacinta Allen, because she sent me a message and she just said, "Did I do a good job this week, Joe?"
You sure there's no one there with a machete behind you?
Yeah.
Why'd they put it in the machete bins?
Hey, it's time for Big Vincenzo's Bet of the Week. And lo and behold, 2 weeks in a row, he's won. Instead of doing these stupid 6-leg multis, he's gone out.
He's on the money, Big Vincenzo.
His bet was Richmond at the line. He gave him 22.5 points and he won.
That's a great bet. That is actually a great bet.
So if people want to make their mortgage payments this week, here it is.
Bet responsibly, guys. Bet responsibly.
Sam, You haven't heard the motto in here.
Bet till it hurts.
Bet big or get out.
Mine's bet till it hurts, and the winnings can't run forever.
So you got the wrong mantra. They never stop. It's a river. There's this river that runs out of the cassette. No,
wait,
I'm joking.
Drip,
I'm joking.
drip makes big pond. So
I'm joking. Big Vincenzo's bet of the week. Sydney versus Geelong. So next Sunday, 17th of August. He's gone for Sydney at the line. So that's an 18.5 point start. I think, Vince, if the Swans can keep Jeremy Cameron down to 9 goals, they're a chance. So, yeah. So anyway,
let's see how we go.
So he's betting. He's only having a lazy 20 on it. Should be 20 grand, Vince.
right.
Pay off the house.
No.
So the return on the investment is $20 at $1.90. So that'd be $38. His tally at the moment, this battery, the balance before this bet was $295. If the bet loses, it's $275, and if it wins, it'll be $313.
You're doing all right, though.
Okay.
Doing all right.
And we started with 100.
Yes.
That's all right.
Okay. Oh, hang on. ARL, he says bet
LR,
reasonable,
that's
not
LR,
responsibly, not 20K, 200K. Well, there you go.
If I had 200K, fuck, I wouldn't.
If I had 200K, I wouldn't be putting it on the Swans. Okay, it's come to the end of the show, but before we go, I think he didn't.
Just before we,
this, but
before you do
Go.
something, I just want to give a big shout out to our
here we
audience,
go.
our chat, because week in, week out, you guys show up and you give us support. Even before I started coming on the show regularly, I just want to give a big shout out to you all in the chat because you're always in here. And I've seen a few new names tonight, and I've seen obviously the regulars, but you guys are the reason why we do this, and Mars and Rocco, and you guys are a big reason why we do this, or you are the main reason why. And just want to give a big shout out to you guys for your support always, because without you guys here, then there's no Jumper Punch, there's no Blue Sunday, there's no emergency meetings. But yes, big thank you to you guys because you guys are all legends.
Exactly.
Just wanted to get that one.
It'll be in the outro, but don't forget August 30, Howlers,
I'll be there.
$69.
69.
yeah,
8-course
Brad
roaming
Pearce.
meal. Brad Pearce, Brendan Favola, Heath Scotland. You don't have to pay extra
Sebba.
for photos. You don't have to pay extra for signatures. The Monday Blues will be there. I'll be there. I mean, if you want to see me,
There it is on the screen, boys.
Everything's
So don't
there.
forget-
It'll be fully inclusive.
And I mean, you can ask Brendan most things, I guess, and Brad Pearce. For those who don't remember, Brad Pearce actually played in our last premiership in 1995. So there we go. Vince is back. So just on closing the show, Vince can't give any Cheerios today. So Sebba, did you want to do any more Cheerios?
Goodbye.
No?
Also, a big cheerio to
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
to the boys that were on emergency meeting last night. Now, I didn't go to the game, but I was sitting in my man cave with my mate that got home from Europe. So we spent the night just watching the footy, and I think it was on late. You guys were on late, and we clicked on. I just want to give a big cheerio to the people that were still watching late. You guys are all sick. You guys are all sick in the head in the best way possible. But yeah, again, it's you
An
guys,
emergency meeting will be on probably from around about 5 o'clock this Saturday, about an hour after the games.
Oh, well, we got 30 seconds out of Vince before he went out.
Pooh! He's been hit out of the stadium.
I'll make up
He's
for it
running
next
out of the
week, Joe.
stadium.
I'll make
Oh,
up for
God.
it next week.
Oh, God. I might ring
Sorry
up
to everyone
Telstra
who was waiting for, but because my internet's so bad, I don't want to waste it while the internet's not working too good.
I think maybe
That's
you
it.
should move. You should move from out of Mongolia, Vince, into Melbourne.
I'm in the socialist utopia called Victoria.
Well, so is
Communist
Sebba.
China.
No, I don't
Yeah,
live.
bro.
I don't live in Victoria. I don't live in
We're soon to-
Victoria.
Communist China will be swarming in debt. No one will own anything except for the state.
Hey, Vince, do you know the other day?
You will own nothing and you will be happy.
You lose.
I sat down with my great grandchild the other day. I'm going forward about 50 years, and he said to me, "Grandpa, ni hao, shay ni."
Oh my fuck.
Unbelievable.
Anyway, don't forget, it was a joke. Don't forget, on Facebook, you'll see us at Blue Sunday, and you can see us at The Jumper Punch on YouTube. Don't forget, we're also on TikTok and what's the other one? Instagram. It'll be at The Jumper Punch. So like, share, and subscribe. So on behalf of my two co-hosts, Big Vincenz and Sebba, and David Rhys Jones, I wish you all a good night. Thanks for watching. I hope your football team has a win next week. I hope everyone has a really good week. Hope to see you all next Sunday. And go Blues.
Go the Blues.